Welcome to the Best of Wednesday Night Live. We are currently preparing our candlelight services, which you'll be able to see on Wednesday, December 23rd and Thursday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Tonight we're going to be airing a talk that was given at the end of September by our own Dr. Michelle. It was one of our best services of the year. I always love hearing from Michelle's experience, her heart, and her consciousness as she applies it to everything that's going on in the world around us, and also always has a special way of aligning it with anything that's going on within us as well. So please enjoy.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, oh, get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Yes, here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, yeah, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, oh, get ready, my soul. Get ready, oh, get ready, my soul. I love me some Olivia Newton-John. And I did not sing for a really long time. And a friend of mine, dear friend, presented this song to me for the first time I was planning to sing. And so appropriate, because not only is it Olivia and a joy, but it's all about gratitude. And boy, am I thankful to sing. You might have to take the introduction a couple of times there, Ken. And all I feel is all because of you. All I reap is all I sow, and love is the living proof. And I thank you. And seasons come and seasons go, and all leads to simple truth. A thousand things, a thousand names, all lead to one simple truth. Thank you for life, and thank you for everything. I stand here in grace and gratitude, and I thank you. Thank you for everything. I stand here in grace and gratitude, and I thank you. I thank you.
We are so glad that you have joined us this evening. We hope that this little evening will be a spot of repose, inspiration, and joy for you, something totally different outside the outside world. We hope also that you are safe and warm in your little homes or wherever you are at this point in time. Perhaps you're sharing this service with some of your loved ones. We are very glad you're here this evening. Tonight, to begin with, we're going to talk about membership. And as I ask this question, for those of you that are members, think about what this means to you. What does membership mean to you? And Samira, I'd like to start with you on that question.
Well, thank you, Reverend Chris. I know for me, membership has changed my life in every way. When I became a member many years ago, it was a commitment that I made with not only Mile High Church, but it was a commitment with myself. It was a commitment with spirit, and it was just this deeper calibration of love that was activated in my life. And through membership, I was saying yes. I was activating this yes to living the science of mind principles in really every area of my life. And so membership has made all the difference for me. I have met lifelong friends. I have met my spiritual teachers, and I've also gained a community that has blessed me beyond, I don't even have words for what Mile High Church has done for me in my life. And really every area of my life has changed as a result.
Right, thank you. Dr. Michelle, what does membership mean to you?
Well, as I reflect on this question, I often think of the fact that I came here as a teenager. I was 15 years old when we first came to Mile High Church. And I was a little skeptical about churches, I will admit. I was a little bit nervous. And so I guess I must have some sort of a deep rebellion inside of me, because one of the first things that impressed me about Mile High Church and this teaching was that membership was not required. Was that membership was sort of the frosting on the cake, if you will, and that you could be part of this community and eat most of the cake. Very little you couldn't eat, but that if your heart was in resonance with the community and your soul felt like this is my spiritual home, then the choice to become a member and kind of step over that line is a proclamation for the soul that then brings everything that Reverend Zamira was talking about. It brings all that, the benefits then of the friendships and the circles of connection and the feeling of belonging. And so I think that's what many of us are yearning for in our lives. We yearn to belong. And so many people come here and feel like, this is me, this is my place. I belong here. This is my church. And membership sort of lives that out. It's the action that is in alignment with that feeling. And so it's never required. It's always an invitation. It's never a force. It's always a if you choose. And some people, don't quite get that, because in other organizations they're part of, membership has a status about it, and people who are members are often thought of as better than or more than. But we don't see it that way here at all. We see it as these are people who've made a choice of the heart. And so that's what it means to me.
Okay, thank you. For myself, I had rolled around in different religions trying them out before I found Mile High. And the first time I walked in, I got that immediate sense of, this could be my spiritual home. This is my spiritual home. And as much as I love my physical home, I also found I needed a spiritual home. I was looking for it. I was hungry for it. And this just felt right. So there was that whole sense of belonging that Dr. Michelle talked about, and that's been huge. But it was more than that. It was, as Mira mentioned, all the spiritual growth, all the teachers, all the friends, all the people that I have learned something from spiritually, all the impulsion to be more, to be something that I took a stand in this world, that this is who I am. I am a religious scientist, and I'm not afraid to tell people that. I'm not afraid to tell people what I believe in, how I enjoy this place, how I always want to come back more than I can right now. So that's what membership meant to me, and still means to me. I'm sort of not an old timer compared to a few members of the band, like Kent, perhaps. But I've been a member since '94, and this is definitely my spiritual home. So, Zamira, would you tell everyone how they could become a member?
Absolutely. Well, it's just so happens that in a few weeks we have another new member class coming up, and it's going to be offered online again on October 25th on a Sunday from 11:30 to 1. And it's super easy to sign up. You can just go onto the Mile High website, and there is a way to join on there. You can register for the class, and you'll get a confirmation for the class. And I'll be facilitating with this coming class along with Reverend Chris and some other Mile High ministers. And it's just a wonderful opportunity that you get to take a journey through all of the different offerings in the Mile High community. We take a journey through all of the classes and the youth program, and we learn about how you can volunteer and get involved. And every aspect of the Mile High Church is shared in that short class. And it's also a perfect time because right after October 25th, we're going to have New Member Recognition Sunday on November 1st, just around the corner. So no matter where you are, if you're in this neighborhood or if you're any place on the planet, you can join us for that and also be recognized for New Member Sunday. So I hope you'll check it out and just come and join us, even if you just want to explore membership. Like Dr. Michelle said, there's no obligation to become a member, but it's a perfect opportunity to just explore and learn more about it.
Okay. Thank you, Samira. And with that, we're going to turn it back to the band and Lauren.
Let's dance like no one is watching. Sing out loud, draw clouds in the air. Smile just like we need nothing. Play till we let down our hair. Dreams, you have wings like a butterfly. And miracles flow, gentle and warm as the sea. There are wonders in each breath we do breathe. Every shining star in our reach, I believe. Let's dream like there's no tomorrow. Today's the first day in your life to color the world with your rainbow. And laugh, 'cause it's always in style. Blue sky gives birth to a starry light. Kindness does grow like leaves on a beautiful tree. There are wonders in each breath we do breathe. Every shining stars in our reach, I believe.
Now that's good. That's really good stuff, I would say. It's a good thing because we're talking about good tonight, and they are so good, and I'm so grateful to have them here. And Lauren, it's so amazing to have you back. I'm about to cry myself to watch this graceful dance that you've done. I know it was not easy, and to have you back and to be so connected in your beautiful voice and your beautiful heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a joy. Isn't it great to have her back, you guys? Yay! Okay, woohoo! What a joy, what a joy. So tonight, my title is all about good. It's about being available for good. And it seems to me like it can be very challenging in life to make oneself available for good because we're kind of confused about good. We don't always know what that means. We trivialize good. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's some pretty bad stuff that's been happening this year. This has been, by many definitions, a very bad year. If one were to look at the world of form and the conditions that are going on, it can be difficult to point to things and say, well, that's good, and that's good, and that's good. A lot of what we may find ourselves doing even without COVID-19 and racial tensions and political season that's crazy and things going on the earth with fires and hurricanes and all sorts of things going on and people sick and dying and churches closed and people having to be at home, all of that stuff. Even without that, if it were regular times, sometimes it feels like we can be more expertly available for bad. We've learned how to do that. We can be very dramatic. We can be myopically focused on what's not working, how things aren't working. And so I thought it would be interesting, even in the midst of all this, and I put this title together about, I think, 4 or 5 weeks ago, but I thought it would be interesting for myself and for all of us to really dance with how could we embrace more good and be more available for that, so that we can experience the joy of that and the benefits of that, and so that we can have the trajectory of our life and the momentum of our life and consciousness continue to be about the good no matter what. As I thought about it, I thought about how many times in this place, on these sacred grounds, I have watched over the years, Dr. Marjorie Stamm, in her way she moved so quickly, she walked very fast, challenging us and inviting us always to look for the good and praise it. And that is very apropos. Being available for good means that we are someone who does exactly what Dr. Marjorie would tell us to do, to look for the good and praise it. And at some times that can be really difficult. It can be really difficult to find the good, let alone praise the good. But I'm inviting us to consider how we might do that tonight. It can be challenging, I understand. I have a wonderful shirt that I love. I wear it a lot because it reminds me of the good. And I was wearing it recently out and about on a weekend, and I was in a grocery store up in Arvada, and my wonderful husband Ken came to me and he said, a woman was eyeing what was on your shirt. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. She rolled her eyes dramatically and kind of shook her head like what I had on my shirt was just absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. And I have a picture, not of my shirt, but of what my shirt said that they're going to put up on the screen for you. Believe there is good in the world and also be the good. Believe there is good and be the good. And I believe in that. I love that phrase and I love that shirt. And I felt sad for that woman that she couldn't see it, that she couldn't just revel in my statement that I was wearing. And I will admit I was a little bit judgy of her also, that she rolled her eyes at me with disdain and thought my shirt was just ridiculous. And I'm sure that it was born out of the times that we are in, and that notion that that we might believe that we have to be focused on the bad because it could get worse. That belief that we might have that it's naive during times like this to focus on the good, or to have a positive thought, or to be willing to entertain the good. The belief that if I lose track of the bad things that are happening, then I'm off in into the weeds of the good stuff that I might miss something really horrible as it's coming my way, or whatever belief we have. I'm inviting us today to look at what are our excuses for giving more energy, more power, more of our time, more of our consciousness, more of our attention to that which we would call uncomfortable, painful, bad, or challenging. And it's easy to do because this human realm is just fraught with all sorts of moments that we can find ourselves doing that. And even though I was very judgy of that woman, I tried to have compassion for her. And a few weeks later, my world went pretty topsy-turvy. Two very close friends of mine suddenly, individually, passed away. It was shocking. It was not from the COVID-19. It was completely unrelated to that and completely unexpected for both of these people. And it plunged me into a very challenging place emotionally. I know my friends, wherever they are, they're fine. I'm absolutely sure of that. I'm absolutely sure that they're in the next world, in the next realm, experiencing the life that they're experiencing. I understand that spiritually, and yet from a human perspective, it felt pretty bad. I felt myself falling into deep grief. I'm still kind of there to an extent. So much grief and sadness and shock and somewhat traumatized, especially by one of those passings, that I found it difficult to find my bearings, to find my center. I'm really grateful to Reverend Simon for the Sunday that I was supposed to speak, and he stepped in for me because I just wasn't sure that I could do it. And even tonight, standing here going, can I still do this? Because I'm still in the midst of that process. I'm still in the midst of that grief. And it doesn't always feel very good. It's sadness and tears and pain and a sense of disconnect to the good that I know exists in the kingdom of heaven that is everywhere present. And this is where I realize now that humans can find themselves. Certainly, I've had other moments in my life of pain or suffering. Certainly, I've had challenges in my life. While I was not a part of this teaching, and while I have been a part of this teaching and all that is contained within it, and the living it and the practicing it and the speaking it and the actually doing what this teaching invites us to do in our prayer life and our personal life helps tremendously. And I reached a point of grief that was so deep and so profound that there were times when I couldn't quite find my faith. I couldn't quite find my own sense of the divine. There were times when I couldn't quite find myself. And indeed, I found myself even having very negative thoughts, and that's just not really like me. I'm not usually the negative thinker of the world. I've most of my life, even before finding Signs of Mind, I've been more of the positive thinker. I'm the optimist, and so it was a little bit shocking as I started finding myself in this very sad and heavy grief, doubting the state of the world, doubting myself, doubting my own value and worth, doubting that I had anything to contribute to life, and just feeling so sad, and at the same time sort of observing myself. For years I've said, and I still believe, that when we're not getting what we want, what comes out of us shows us where our work is. And so what was coming out of me was very sad and very about a lot about unworthiness, and it was sort of like the grief triggered something in me that set off this volcano. And it gave me, as a spiritual optimist, an opportunity to go, wow, I've got some deeper ideas about life and about myself that I really need to heal. And so I have also then, in this grieving process, been about doing my best to heal them. And I realized that a lot of people are in this state that I've gone into in our world right now. And I realize that it can be tempting to get caught in this state. That there are people wandering our earth having had so much sadness, unfortunate experiences, looking out at the news of the day and feeling so discouraged. And I can relate to that, I think, a little bit better now, because I see that that state can trigger so much deeper, unwell ideas that we might have about ourselves and the world, that it can be easy to get caught there. And it can be easy to, I think, fall into some pattern or habit of just living life out thinking this is the best it's ever going to be. Because everybody's had negative things happen to them. Everybody's experienced death, betrayal, disappointment, rejection, having dreams fall away. Everybody's having challenges right now with the world that we're in, not being able to do everything we want to do and thinking we should be free to do what we want to do, and frustrated about that, and resisting that there's greater good within us because we get caught up in that negativity. And so that is what I think can be challenging for us to dance with that, especially in this teaching. Because when we fall into that, and we are a religious scientist, we are a metaphysician, the temptation then can be on the part of other people or on the part of ourself to try to coax ourselves out of it with words that are empty and meaningless, really, in that state. Try to tell ourselves we should be more positive, that we should think happy thoughts. Just think a happy thought and it'll all go away. Just find the good. And that last statement, find the good, really stuck with me during this time. Because what I've come to realize about being available for good is that the human landscape is fraught with this way of being that I've talked about for many years, that says that nothing in this human landscape, in this world of form, nothing, no one, is all good or all bad. In this human landscape, in the world of form, and that which we see and experience, there are shades of good and bad. There are shades of joy and sorrow. There are shades of success and failure. There are shades of all of the dance of life, and many times we get stuck because we want to polarize it. We want to say, well, I've had a lot of horrible stuff happen to me, so everything must be horrible. That's the feeling that I was sort of having in my darkest, deepest grief. Or we want to think that if we really could get over all that, then every moment would be happy, happy, joy, joy. But in this realm of the human landscape of living, it's all of the above. And sometimes at the same time. Sometimes we can experience the fullness of it. And indeed today that's my main point, is to understand and to choose the full spectrum of living. In this realm of life, there is that constant dance. This realm is the most changing realm of the kingdom. Things are always shifting in the physical realm. People come and go, opportunities come and go, conditions come and go, things move very fast. And if we try to stick to them, and if we try to cling to them, we will find ourselves disappointed. And the more we cling, often the more profound it is when those things change, when people do go away. But this realm is the constant realm of changing. And that's part of being human, is understanding that this will always change. And sometimes those changes will feel and be good, and sometimes those changes will feel and be bad. And we get to categorize them. And it's different for everyone in this kingdom of the world of form. But there is another kingdom that is the kingdom that I think is born out of Dr. Marjorie inviting us to always look for the good and praise it. It's the kingdom that's born out of the core of this teaching. It's the kingdom that people sometimes quote to us when we're not feeling so good, and it doesn't always feel good to hear it. And yet, there is this deeper reality of life that I call the unchanging good. The changeless good. And if we were to use the synonym for good of God, the changeless God, the unchanging God presence, that is the truth of who we are. And so while we are dancing through some of our greatest dramas and traumas, all the while, the good that we're talking about, that we get to be available for and that we can touch into at times, even in our most challenging moments, is that good that God is. And we begin to understand that when we touch into that God presence is everything. And so that's why our founder, Ernest Holmes, could proclaim so profoundly, it's all good, because it's all God. And he also said something that I loved in the What We Believe. He wrote something called What I Believe that we now call What We Believe. And I believe it so well. He says, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. And so I've read that and thought about that through these times. I've read that and thought about that in preparation for this message. And I realized that the good that God is always available, no matter how bad it might look out there. And it can be challenging to rectify this human experience as we see things that seem so unfair and so crazy, as we watch oppression and racism, to say, how can there be God in that? How can there be good in that? But see, in that deeper kingdom, the reason that Holmes could proclaim that and we can proclaim that is that we know and understand that no matter how crazy it is on the surface, below the surface, there's always evolution. There's always the greater good calling us forward at the soul level, at the deeper level of our being, individually and collectively. We are always, always, always in touch with that. And the most challenging thing that I think can happen to any one of us is that we feel so damaged by the conditions of life and so disconnected by the conditions of life that we lose track of our soul, of our essence. And we begin to think that what we've experienced is so bad and so painful that we will never recover, that we can never be happy again. But what I've seen, even in this deepest grief, is that I know that I will keep moving through it. And I'll keep moving through it by feeling it, by crying when I need to cry. And that by feeling it, I will resolve it eventually. And indeed, I see that this grief is so deep for me because my love was so deep for these beloved beings in my life. That it means something. And I also have noticed that even in this deep grief, these little God moments have made themselves available to me as I've made myself available to them. And I'm so grateful for them. I've had moments of deep sweetness with my wonderful, sweet husband, Ken, as we've supported each other through this. I got to go feed a little baby goat a baby bottle. I got to hang with a puppy recently. I got to listen to beautiful music that just touched my soul powerfully and profoundly. I got to see Nancy June Reeves, one of my favorite human beings on the planet. I've had time with my family. My mother was here. Had time with my brother and my sister-in-law and my cousins. I've had friends reach out, friends that just sent love and just have kept in touch. Even now, with all that's going on in the world and all that's going on in my life, when I go within, I can sense there's more good than bad in this world of form, and there's certainly all good in the kingdom of heaven that is at the core of each one of us. Nelson Mandela said to us, "May your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears." So as I'm inviting us to feel the full spectrum of life today and understand that all of it is the kingdom of God, and that there's always wisdom within us that can speak to us, no matter what's going on in the world of form, there are choices that we can make to be available for good, that are choices like some of those I just mentioned. There are choices that we can make that have to do with taking quiet time just for stillness, certainly meditation and prayer, spending time even on Zoom with people that we love and that can encourage us and inspire us and uplift us, going to church, even if it's online, or being part of communities that uplift us. It's allowing ourselves to go out in nature. It's allowing ourselves to let music soothe our soul. It's allowing ourselves to bask in the good that is God, even when life is challenging. And what we know is that when we make ourselves available for good in this way, two things happen. At least two, maybe three, but two things for sure. Two. The first one for sure is that when we make ourselves available for good in any way, we allow ourselves to partner with the challenging emotions and feelings we're having and allow ourselves to move through that evolutionary journey a little bit more gracefully, easily, even quickly, so that we don't get caught up in our negativity. We experience balance. We also know that when we make ourselves available for good by choosing these things, by letting ourselves be loved and helped and uplifted by these things and stepping through the doorways of them consciously, because this law is always working for us in our life, we are always then making ourselves a magnet for more good. What I know for sure is that if we spent years and years and years caught up in the negativity, in the pain, in the suffering, in the what's missing and what's not working, then that law that is within us and in this universe only gives us more of that. When we make ourselves available for good and we consciously choose it, we set that law in motion for more and more good. And so we allow ourselves to welcome that. And the third thing is that we then allow ourselves to be available for the deepest truth of who we are, which is what we're all seeking through all this experience, whether it's that which we'd call good or bad or challenging or joyful or whatever it is. The ultimate goal, the ultimate desire is to experience the greater truth of ourselves. And that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm claiming. I'd like to close with a meme I found on Facebook. My wonderful husband Ken posted it, and I liked it. I offer it up to us. Don't give up on this year. Keep fighting for the good. Keep showing up. Keep loving. Keep giving back. Keep being kind. Keep being brave. Keep caring. Keep trying new things. Keep showing grace. Keep on. This world needs you to believe in the good. And I say that because I know the good is all God. And now Lauren is going to sing to us and remind us of that.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me. where I sing. God is where I dance. Joy lifts my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me, as me. For where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer. Here and now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is. Where I work, love is my career. And where I play, God is playing boldly, in and out and through me, as me. Oh, oh. Where I am, where I stand, where I play, where I work and breathe and move and be, where I sing, where I dance, I dance, I dance, wherever I go, where I take and pray and give and to live. God is, God is, God is.
So true, right where you are, right where we are, God is. We anchor ourselves in that awareness now as we step into an opportunity that we make available for circulation, remembering that God is the true source of all the abundance in our life. And so I invite each one of us just to take a moment to anchor ourselves in the awareness of the abundance that has flowed through our lives, to extend prayers to this church and to all beings everywhere for great good and great resources and great abundance to fulfill their lives, to know that God is all there is and is available to all, through all, and as all. And as we do that, we invite you to partner with us and consider sharing some of that good with us this evening. You can do that by texting to give. The information is on your screen. You can also go to our website at milehighchurch.org and make a donation. You can also just mail a check to us, and our address is available on screen also. Thank you so much for the gifts that you've given, and I just accept and affirm that as we step into this circulation, we do so out of that sense of abundance, and that as we give, we do receive. In that very moment, it is so. We are blessed, and so it is.
Up on the heights, oh, oh, you let me go, oh, oh, you make my heart to rise from the depths below. You hold me up, oh, oh, so I can see, oh, oh, you're ever lifting me, you're ever lifting me. You lifted my head, so I know you're near me. You lifted my eyes, so I see it clearly. Where I belong, you are where I belong. I'm lifting my voice just to sing a new song. I'm lifting my hands just to show you I You are where I belong. I'm lifting my voice just to sing a new song. I'm lifting my hands just to show you I know where I belong. You are where I belong. 'Cause you are ever lifting me. Oh, you are ever lifting me. Oh, you fill my heart to know the length of your great love. And where you go, I'll go. You send my heart above, and nothing on earth compares. Oh God, when I'm with you, you take me higher. You take me higher. It fills my heart to know the length of your great love. And where you go, I'll go. You send my heart above, and nothing on earth compares. Oh God, when I'm with you, you take me higher. You take me higher. You lifted my head so I know you're near me. You lifted my eyes so I see you clearly. Where I belong, you are where I belong. You lifted my head so I know you're near me. You lifted my eyes so I see you clearly. Where I belong, you are where I belong. I'm lifting my voice just to sing a new song. I'm lifting my hands just to show you I know where I belong. You are where I belong. 'Cause you are ever lifting me. Oh, you are ever lifting me. On my day, I think you are ever lifting me. Oh, you are ever lifting me.
Oh, yes. Wow. And we just join me in prayer right now as we turn within and feel that living spirit moving into the sacred heart, feeling that divine spark that moves in and through each one of us. In this moment, I know that we open our hearts and we open our minds to deeply be available, to look for that good and to praise it. And oh, I feel that good right now as we move into feeling and anchoring that infinite peace of mind, calling forth and realizing within our hearts that serenity, that stillness, and knowing it and feeling it right now. And so I would invite each one of you listening in this moment to state your name and claim that peace of mind. Claim that serenity, claim that stillness, and to also speak the name of those who you also claim it for this evening. And we also feel that infinite abundance, that flow of all good that is infinite, that is always flowing, that is always available, that is always here, and we open to receive it. And so in this moment, opening yourself to even greater manifestation of the good in your life, state your name and claim that abundance for yourself, and state the name of those who you also hold this infinite abundance for. Realizing it deep within, feeling it deep within, knowing that it is manifested from within, from the God and the Spirit within us. And this evening, we also call forth harmony in relationships, feeling that all good is moving through our relating, our connecting, that we're able to open to see that we're all one in spirit, that we're all connected, and that we are open to see that good in each person that we meet, in all those around the planet, in our leaders, in our spiritual family. That we open to that harmony and relationship and claim it for yourself right now, also claiming it for all And we also speak a word of health, knowing that it is our birthright, that at the core of our being there is infinite balance, and that we are always, these physical bodies are always seeking to reveal greater and greater health. So we speak a word of health for those who may be experiencing a condition of illness, experiencing imbalance in the physical body, knowing that that deeper essence of love and of physical well-being, of health is revealed right now. And so state your name and claim it. And also bring forth any other names of those who you want to put into this field of balance, this field of love. Oh, I am so grateful. I am so grateful this evening for this message by Dr. Michelle, for this deepening, for this allowing to feel, this allowing to be present to what is, for this deepening in God, for this deeper knowing that God is the good within each of us. And I say thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this community that is Mile High Church. Thank you for this beacon of light, and thank you for this expression of life that moves through each one of us, moves throughout this planet. It's with this deep gratitude I release this prayer into that alchemy of love that is the law, and allow the Father, Mother, God within to do the work, setting it free. And so it is. And so we have our classes coming up, just a couple of announcements that I want to share with each of you right now. It's not too late to sign up for the self-mastery class and the metapsychiatry class. And please tune in this Sunday. We have our beloved Dr. Roger Teal, who will be back sharing the Sunday message online. And next week, we have Reverend Chris, who is going to be sharing a powerful message on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. So I hope you will tune in and join us. And if you have a need for greater prayer support, please know that it is available on our website, so you can reach out there. Thank you for being with us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again soon.